My name is Chankum Finch. I have taken several language courses through LCSE, have studied understanding human communication, and have used the VISTAS curriculum to understand language in a deeper level. Today I will be speaking on language and communication. The three main topics are: language is the biggest principle in communication, through language communication is enhanced, and understanding language brings effective communication. When it comes to communication, we are like luxury vehicles trying to run off of regular fuel. Learning more about language and utilizing our knowledge takes effort, but which we can relate to paying for premium gas. While there is a cost, our functioning and performance should be valued over the costs. Language is the primary factor of communication. The University of the People states that without language, we would lose the biggest factor of our human connection. Without a competent understanding of language, we are unable to communicate properly and effectively. Here's a graph that displays the relationship between speech, language, and communication. Language is effectively the bridge between useless speech and competent communication. There are two meanings for the word language. The first is a specific system of communication between a country or group. And second, a method of human communication used in a structured way to convey information through speech, writing, and gesture. While both of these definitions enhance and affect communication, these definitions work as steps. The first is focused on how we speak rather than focusing on what we say. And the second puts focus into how we convey the information we have. The difference between these definitions is the difference between knowing the language versus knowing how to apply it properly. Here's a graph that displays, there was a poll taken through Stanford University, and it showed their ability to be correct, have clarity, their ability to have proper engagement and proper delivery in the students. And if you want to see more on that article, I have links to that also. Many communicative skills are related to language. Enhancing our understanding of language increases our ability to utilize communicative skills. For instance, effective feedback can only be done if we have a deeper understanding of the language used. Same with effective delivery. We have to be able to understand the words that we're using to get the proper point across. And comprehending what is being said also requires us to understand language on a deeper level. To put the value of language into perspective, the concept or skill we are using is like a package, and the language is the means of delivery. If we are unable to properly deliver, even if the skill is well understood, the message gets mangled in the process. It is important to practice techniques for improving communication, and we should be focused based on importance. For example, language is like paint. We have to have it in order to create art. But simply having paint isn't enough to create a masterpiece. It takes effort and experience, and we can eventually build a foundation of communicative excellence. Because language is the fundamental tool used to communicate, it only makes sense that you should first focus on gaining an understanding of communication before you go on to the finer details. If you achieve a deeper understanding of language, you will be able to better apply the best wording with coherence. A deeper understanding of language will change how you think when coming into a communicative scenario. For instance, when in conversation, instead of thinking how to get your point across, you will naturally be able to express your opinion without having to struggle with a lack of words. Because language is the foundation of communication, you can use your understanding to angle your speech in any way. This is because communication is essentially the raw materials. Language is essentially the raw materials to communication. Communicative skills are extremely useful, but only applicable to specific forms of communication. Utilizing language means that you can take the communicative skills and combine them with language to angle sophisticated speech in any application. Understanding the power of words and learning how to apply language means more than efficient communication. Tony Robbins once said, "The way we communicate with others and ourselves ultimately determines the quality of our lives." The words we use can lift up or tear down others. It is vital that we use them properly. Language is not just a largely defining factor of communication, rather, it is so important that it is capable of changing the course of ours and others' lives. In essence, utilizing a deeper understanding of language means more than enhancing communication. It means enhancing relationships, perspectives, and our quality of life. Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "The limits of my language means the limits of my world." Ladies and gentlemen, language is the raw materials to the structures of communication, and it is up to us to learn to build. As you improve your communicative skills, I implore you to give greater focus to the language you use, and I promise you will start to see the effect it has on your lives. My name is Tiankum Finch, and this is my speech on language and communication. Is there any questions? Thank you.